All right, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Beyond Lube, the real reason, or two or three of the reasons why sex may be painful. And this is all about straight couples. I'm going to be speaking to mostly. Let me get my camera. All right. So I'm Melissa D. I'm a sexological body worker, somatic sex educator, and I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist. And today I want to talk about lubricant because it's such a taboo thing. And here's why. So, lubricant can often be used for penetration, but it can also override how ready your body is. So if you're just pulling out lube and just going in for penetration, you might be overriding your partner's readiness. And what do I mean by that is, is she really turned on? Is she actually engorged and ready and wanting it? And I'm going to talk about some subtleties too. Like I have a colleague that her body just actually is turned on, but it doesn't produce the kind of zhuzh needed. I'm picking my words very carefully because YouTube loves to censor me depending on the language that I use. So I think you understand me. So my friend, for example, who's also a sexological body worker, they use a lot of lubricant. It actually works for them. Whereas some people will use it and it actually is overriding the readiness. And there also may be, my experience with lube, and it depends on the pace of the entry. It can actually be the thing that really helps my body get into it. Because when you add just a little bit of lube, here's my experience. When I put just a little bit here, and then, insertion happens super slow, not like that, but like almost like rubbing and kind of teasing, that slipperiness can actually cause my body to produce the lubricant needed. So in that case, it can be super hot and super helpful. So when I talk to couples that are like, okay, we're experiencing a lot of pain here, what do we do? And a lot of educators or people will just be like, just use lube, get a dildo, da, da, da. And that might work, but it takes a layer deeper for you to really notice your body and feel into, are you being penetrated too soon? Do you need more of a warm up? So I also notice couples will get really excited and in the moment and they think, yeah, just put it in. But, later down the road, even years, they will notice that, wow, I've been enduring penetration happening too soon. And it's actually really painful and I don't enjoy it. And I don't know if that's you. I'm just saying there's a pattern of people that I've seen and done retreats with that, they took the advice of like, just have your date night, just go for it, just do all the things. And it wasn't till later when they really started getting into somatics or like yoga or things like that and making them more sensitive, more in tune. And they're like, wow, if I'm actually being honest, I want penetration to happen a little bit later and not right away. And maybe we use lube or we don't, but we just move at a different pace. And what does that actually look like? This is another question that I get from a lot of couples that experience this. Well, take a look at what you actually do when you're together. Do you go right for penetration, or do you give each other like sensual massage, or lying together nude, or like taking a shower together? What are the things that really bring out the sensuality and the turn on? And the next step is to, just because you might be ready as a man doesn't mean your partner is ready yet. And even though you might be excited, there's ways to kind of sit back in your arousal and be with her in almost this teasing state where you're using your big hands and your physicality and actually warming her up even more to the point where she's like begging for it. And that's the sweet spot, right? So even if your partner is not quite ready, these prolonged sessions of not getting straight to the point can actually, allow her body to be more ready and also her body to produce more lubricant. And here's another hot take that a lot of educators don't talk about is that the things that dry me up the fastest are when people don't stick to their word. And this isn't even in a sexual situation. This is like if I'm dating someone and they've given me their word about something and they don't follow through, I may be tracking it in my mind and think it's no big deal, just get your shit together. But I will notice a response in my body. My body actually starts to close down and almost dry up. And I wish I was kidding, but it stinks because now it's like a barometer. And again, I know this may sound really woo to some people or maybe not, but I often ask women when they're like, I don't know, sex is just painful. I'm not, lubed up. I don't produce my own da da. I'm like, okay, well, what kind of repair needs to happen in your connection with this man so that there isn't any stragglers? Like, is there some disappointment lingering in your subconscious somewhere? Is there a fight that never got totally resolved? Was there something that broke your trust and you never talked about it or had the skills to actually talk about it? Those are the things that I go to because your flow and your lubricant as a woman is often connected to how safe you feel with this man, even if it's a one-night stand, okay? If you're excited about them and you trust them and they haven't disappointed you in some way, or, like I work with so many couples where there's a series of repair conversations needed first before we can get to intimacy so that her body's relaxed and open and wants to be effed open. And he can show up and there's not this lingering thing. Another example, and I'll just speak for myself, but again, it shows up in so many people's lives, is I went on a road trip and there was a series of things that I wasn't talking about with my partner. And again, my whole vagina just kind of dried up and got quiet and I couldn't feel a lot. And I thought, that's really interesting. Even his advances were like, it was almost like my body was completely shut down. Now, if I would have just slapped some lube on it and I would have been totally overriding what was actually happened, because our emotions as women and a lot of what we're feeling will show up in the body. Okay, it just will. And so what happened is I got in tune with my skills and my awareness, and I had some difficult conversations with this person, my partner, and we got to kind of complete whatever I was hanging on to or the misunderstanding or There's this series of things. And then once I talked about that stuff, my body began to get wet, be open to turn on, and be more receptive to his advances. It was awesome. So those are my thoughts. And I know that they might be some things that you haven't heard before, or they might be a little woo, or maybe out on the fringe. But yeah, if you are someone that requires lube, I don't want to shame you, but I have further questions for you. So yeah, is there a medical reason why you're not, producing? Is the intimacy happening too fast and you're not giving your body enough time to actually warm up and get there? Or is there some conversations or something happening below the surface with this person that you want to engage with that needs to be talked about first? So I'm Melissa D from Body Joy Intimacy School. Thanks for watching. I hope you got some information here that's useful, and I'll see you next time.